Hi everybody, welcome back to the Stone House. I wanted to talk about something real quick. In the last video, I showed a lot of shots with me using this table saw and pushing work through. And I'm not using a push stick. I guess what I'm getting at, and I have no problem with doing this. I bumble with words no matter what. But I was totally wrong in using a machine like this, using any machine like this without safety stuff. I know that I've got good eye protection now, which I don't know where that is, but good eye protection, good ear protection, but no finger protection. And there's no excuse for it. There really is no excuse for it. No matter how comfortable I feel or how I feel like I know how these machines work, there really is no excuse for it. And so all I can say is thank you to the few people that picked up on it and said something. I am looking into some aftermarket attachments that can go onto this saw, and I believe I found a good one out of Alabama, actually, where they make a thing. It's called a shark guard. I'm not going to talk about this long, so don't get too freaked out here. A splitter goes on the back of your saw behind your blade like this. And what it does is when you're cutting your piece of work, it goes through, and I'm using a lot of milled ash, and this is even a really good example. I can see a knot in this board. It's turning, it's warping. So there's some weird pressure back in here that I'm not aware of. I kind of know it's there, but I don't know how it's there. But so when you're cutting a piece of wood on a table saw like this with no splitter, no riving knife, and I'm putting the work through, it's very possible that even after cut, the board will want to force itself back together. And when it does that, it pinches the blade. It'll grab the piece of work, and then you can see, it's called kickback. It'll throw the piece of work back into you. The only time I've had that happen in 4 years is I was cutting a sheet of something. And it was a big sheet, and it was on my little Cobalt job site table saw. I don't know, that really hurt. And I don't think that is the table saw's fault. I mean, it was my fault, but it has happened to me. The piece of wood, luckily, it was a big sheet, like I said. It luckily turned perfectly and just hit me square across the gut. That was a big learning experience for me. That was the first time I've ever experienced kickback. It hurt, but it didn't hurt me. So maybe I'm feeling like, well, even if it happens, it's not really going to hurt me. Well, sometimes these things can come off a saw like this. This is a lot more powerful than my other saw, and it can impale you, or it can rip your fingers with it, and then that's how your fingers get put into the blade. So I guess the long story short is I know that they're dangerous, and I know that I was using it incorrectly, and I shouldn't have done that. Someone even newer than me could be watching my videos, and because I'm not using safety, they may not use safety. And I would feel really bad if someone used me as an example, which I hope, geez, let's be honest for a second. You shouldn't be using me as an example for probably anything when it comes to construction, guys, because I'm super new. I don't even know how to spell table saw. But anyways, there's ways for me to be safer. A push stick. The reason why you weren't seeing me using a push stick is because earlier in the day, I broke my push stick. This is the push stick that came with my table saw. It's probably the crappiest push stick known to man. But the tip of it, you can see, is broken. It broke right off. So when you're trying to push now, the push stick actually comes off of the piece of work. So it's dangerous. I really just need to throw this away. Lazy Lucas even knew, though, that I had another push stick upstairs. This is the one that came with the Cobalt, and it works good. But for some reason, Lazy Lucas didn't go and grab it the other day, and I should have. This push stick really, well, the other one before it broke was always right here, and I do use it. Okay, so listen, I don't want to become a safety channel. There's a lot of good channels out there. I'm going to look into ordering the guard and the splitting knife thing. It's going to be expensive, but you know, how much is a finger worth to you? Probably $500. More than that, I'd probably just rather lose my finger. No, serious. I'm gonna wear the safety glasses. I want to see my kids grow up, right? I want to see that happen through both eyes. I want to be able to hear my grandkids playing, so I'm gonna wear ear protection. And I want to be able to hold my wife's hand with all my fingers. And there's just no excuse for me to be doing what I'm doing and not using safety measures. And I think that's all that needs to be said about it. I'm mad at myself. I'm disappointed in myself. And this is just one of millions of examples of why posting to YouTube is good for me. Because without people telling me, I probably would have continued to be careless. I'll be honest. I feel comfortable enough with this machine not to use safety stuff, but there's no excuse not to. Okay. So that's out of the way. Today I'm going to be working in Jace's room. So we're in Jace's room. As you know, he has a fairly small closet behind his door. It's 4.5 foot or so by 2 foot. Those are outside dimensions. This was the best place for his closet. It has a motion sensor switch like the rest of the closets. This was definitely the best place for his closet. The only other place that we were considering, it couldn't really go here because I didn't want to cover up the window, was here in the slant. And I guess we just went and said, you know, I really don't want to put another closet in the slanty spot. So I don't know. We talked about it. We molded over. And this is just where it ended up. And you can see it's nicer wood than Lily's. This is new pine. And we're not going to paint his closet. We're going to leave it as is. I don't feel the need to probably do corner trim because that all turned out pretty good. The first thing I need to do is run out to the barn and get the lumber that I'm going to use for the inside of his closet. If I'm honest, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wandering the ruins looking for a place. Spent a very long amount of time, almost to the point where I feel like I've wasted half my day on adjusting this saw. I have it a lot better now than it was. Like, if anything, I'd call it perfect. Like, it's nice and square, and the blade is now running perfectly square. I have all these boards right here ready to go. They're all jointed on one side. This is gonna be the baseboard. I have way more than I need. This is gonna be the door trim, and this right here is gonna be the ceiling trim. And that should be everything I need for now. The shelves I'm gonna make out of cedar. If I'm honest, I don't know who I am. All I see is a man who's waiting for a wake-up call. So won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me. Sing it to me. Open up my mind. Can I find a melody and sing it to me? Sing it to me. Keep singing. Wish I was better at everything I have ever tried and failed to be. I wear every letdown
show every scar, and I found that hope can only carry you so far. So won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me, and sing it to me. Open up my mind, then can I find a melody?
I just sort of kind of found out that some of this wood in the barn apparently is hickory. Like, that's hickory. That's ash. It's a mix. I'm not really sure. Not really sure how that happens. It's all milled and now I can go put it on the wall.
Won't you touch this heart that doesn't have a song to sing, and sing it to me, sing it to me. Open up my mind, and can I find a melody, and sing it to me, yeah, sing it to me. No, keep singing.
About ready to do this baseboard here, and instead of just doing it square edge like that, which looks fine, obviously, I am gonna practice a little bit more with the router table. Only this time, I've got some more options with the shapes. Before, I only had the options of these garage sale bits, but I bought a set. These are all carbide tipped 1/4-inch shank, which is what this router wants. So I'm going to be able to put a little bit cooler detail on Jace's. It doesn't look exactly centered. Like that blade is touching that. It's gonna not be good when I first turn that on if I don't raise it up a little bit more, but you really can't raise it up anymore. That needs to be adjusted that way. Wow, do I really get to adjust this router now after adjusting the table saw? Is that what's gonna happen? The more I get into this, the more I feel like I should be sharing it. I attempted... I attempted to adjust the router, and in my attempt to adjust the router, I broke the router. So, lucky, I found the directions here for this Powermatic router lift made by Jessam. I've taken it all apart. I've got parts everywhere. I have taken the old router piece finally out, and I am using this, which is an amazing thing. Using this to line up where my other router, luckily I have another router, and it's actually a nicer router. I think it's a 2-horse. I think it's a 2-horse motor. The other router is a 1-horse motor. So, you know, if you're pulling a sleigh and you got 1 horse, 2 horses, it's twice as much.
I watch you bow your head each day. It's the little things that make you feel this way. Don't let their words fill you up with doubt. Lift your head and watch your dreams branch out. Don't you give up now. You have made your vows. You might not know how, but you will find the key. Feel your soul arise from that spark in your eyes. Watch it come alive. This is your destiny.
It's working! This router is different than the other router. It does not lock into place. What it does is it has kind of like 2 nuts, and you have to hold one, and then you put the bit in there, and then you tighten the other one. I would love to have a tool that I could do it from the top. You know, like say you had one of these wrenches. Of course, that wouldn't fit. Bad example. Say I had a wrench like this, and it was bent at a 90-degree, whoop, and I could stick it down in there and hold that bottom nut, and then have another wrench to hang on to the top nut. Well then, you know, life would be awesome. But I don't have that. It's not ideal, but the only way I can reach both of these nuts is by taking this part right out of the router. Side note, I really like that I can remove this very easily, because the other router you couldn't. The only thing I have left to do is to turn it on. Weird. That won't spin. Why won't that spin? That doesn't smell good. That's perfect. It works with the switch just like it did before. These are all the pieces to the other router. Technically, the motor's still good. I probably will sell it on eBay or something. Somebody will want it. This could be exciting.
There's so much more space for you to fly. So I give up on what you love if you haven't tried. Don't you give up now. You have made your vows. You might not know how, but you will find the key. Feel your soul up.
As far as experimenting goes with trim, I really do like this little detail. I deliberately did not do anything special here. This is gonna look really stupid when I go to put this other piece on, but that's okay. It's the inside of a closet. I'm literally just practicing. I don't know how many times I need to say that to myself. I'm saying it to myself. This looks like you could have closed the gap more, but you really just, I can't, so I don't know. I don't know. And then this one won't go tight. If you can see, it won't go tight here, but I think it will once I put this other piece in, force it in there. I like the way it sits against the wall, and I don't know if you had to try to find something positive right now. That's probably about it. That one looks better. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. I really wanted to come here today, and I wanted to get a lot done. I think that goes without saying. I think it's obvious that I would have liked to get a lot done, but I didn't. And what I did get done isn't great. But the closet's trimmed. It doesn't look terrible. Tomorrow I'll be able to mill the cedar and do some shelves. And, you know, I would have loved to have a closet like this when I was a kid. I didn't have a closet, I just had dressers. And I think it's fine. I think it's great for what it is. There's some obvious things that I didn't do correct, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm not a carpenter. Yeah. Alright. It doesn't get any better the more I talk about it. So, we'll see you tomorrow. You can see I got a new toque today. It's really warm. It's making me sweat. I got it. You might see that I uploaded an extra video the other day, and it's all about tools and stuff. So I got the toque to represent Milwaukee. Okay, so it's Sunday, and I'm here to finish Jace's closet. And it's pretty close, actually. I got all the trim done yesterday, as you saw. It's a very frustrating day for me, but I got it. And now I'm in better spirits. I have a very nice dialed-in table saw and a working router. Now, I had a casualty with the router. I learned a lesson that you can't go too hard on my router bits at one time. You got to make multiple passes, which I thought I was doing, but apparently not. And I bent and broke the router bit. So my 35-piece kit router bit is now a 34-piece kit router bit. That's okay. Live and you learn. Seems like that's happening quite a bit with me lately. This is an 8-inch deep shelf here, and then it turns, and that's 7 inches deep here. And you can see, so it's kind of like a U-shaped shelf. And now what I'm gonna do is put cedar on the bottom, and then face the whole thing out with a cool piece of trim. And that's gonna look really, really awesome. This, if I wanted to, because that's like 4 inches of space, I could make it like a hinge so you could like stuff stuff in there. I don't know. Our kids probably don't need hiding spots. Alright, well, it's always fun to do something a little different, and I think Jace will like this detail. Turned out pretty good, I really like it. Pretty functional too. You can kind of see. For the most part, this closet is done. I was gonna put shelves on the other side, and now, I don't know, maybe I will, but probably not anytime soon. It might be something I do down the road. I just want to see if just these shelves are enough. He's got a bookshelf also, and then I'm sure he'll have other furniture and shelving. It's not a very big closet, so I feel like if I put shelves on this side that stick out just as much as these, it might just, I don't know. I can see it both ways. So because I'm on the fence, I'm gonna hold off. Just like Lily's closet needs a little bit more paint here and there, this closet needs a little bit of sanding here and there, because we're not gonna paint anything on the inside of this one. This one, because all the wood is newer, it really just doesn't need to be painted. And I kind of like the wood look, obviously. These shelves I glued just recently, and I have to let that glue set up before I can try to sand, but these all just need to be sanded a little bit, but I put them in place so you can see what it looks like. Now, if you're wondering, the outlet is right there still. I may drill a hole through this shelf, so then anything that you want to set on this shelf and have a cord go down and then plug in, like say you're going to charge something, you could have a shelf to set it on versus the floor. So that's kind of a cool idea. But yeah, I don't know, it turned out pretty good. I mean, I was going to do more shelves too, but I just decided 18 inches apart was about even. So that's what I did. And I still need to put a stopper in for his doors here, because they have nothing to stop now. Like if the kids pushed on those really, really hard, it probably would break them. So I do still need to put like trim around the door, but I might wait until I get my machine, and then it might be a little easier to make the trim. But that's it. I really like it. Turned out pretty much as good as I can expect. So Jace's closet's done. We're gonna move on next week to Elspeth's room. Her closet is the big, deep closet here. This is, I think it's 4.5 feet deep, but it's got a little bit of a slant to it. And what I think I'm gonna do here is kind of just like Jace's shelf. I'm gonna have 12-inch shelves that start right through here, go all the way around and bend all the way around like that. And I'm going to do all of her shelving
like that. Probably 3 shelves or 4 shelves that go all the way around. And then she'll have a pole somewhere that goes across for clothing. But that's how I'm going to tackle that one. And I need to find a door for this closet. I think she might get... I know some of you noticed here in Lily's room, Lily's door here, we have another one of those. So we didn't do anything like that for Jace's because the way that his door here interferes with the closet door, I didn't want a big door in the way back there. But this one, maybe Ellie can get one of those cool doors. There's room. I might have to cut it so it's a little shorter, but what else am I going to do with it if I don't put it there? Then I was kind of thinking, I kind of want to show this. This is pretty cool. So Jace is, say Jace is in his room and he opens up his closet. Say his door is all the way shut. And he opens up his closet. It can open definitely wide enough to block the door. I mean, I think that there's a circumstance in there where if this closet door is open, I think there's a way that if you try to open this too quickly, it would probably jam. But as you can see, I can't get it to jam. So it just happened to be kind of, I don't want to call it perfect because it's not, but his door's shut. He left his closet doors wide open, because he forgot to shut them. And then Lily tries to come into his room. I was worried about things pinching here and breaking. But as you can see, it's not great, but it's not. I'd rather have it do that than stop it. Yeah, his door will go to there. So that's, I don't know. It's not bad. Anyways, that's probably more detail than anybody cares to know about, but so that's it. That's gonna do it for this week. One closet down, one closet to go. I kind of feel like I've got a lot of odds and ends things kind of building up on me. Like I've got 3 more windowsills downstairs that I still gotta sand. And then the windowsills up here need to be kind of oiled, and the windows need to be trimmed and finished. And now Lily's closet needs a little bit more paint. Jace's closet needs a little bit of sanding and stuff. It's like that list that builds and builds and builds. But I'm sure that I'll maybe this week at night I'll come up every single night and work for a couple hours, because then I could probably nail all those little things down, get them off my mental to-do list, which would be good. So that's it. We're moving right along. I think it won't be long and I'll be ordering the machine to do the trim up here, which is cool. That's really, once the trim is done, yeah, we're gonna paint the walls probably, but once the trim is done, this upstairs will be done. Minus maybe some fiddlesticks with the stairway. And some other little custom things that I want to do, which are going to be cool and fun. But yeah, we're chugging right along. It feels good. Anything else that I should talk about? Yeah, no, probably not. I think that's it. So anyways, thanks for watching. And I guess I'll see you next time I turn the camera on. Have a good week.